This is number 3, featuring at Sour Fang Tattoos. Is it tattoos or tattoo?
Tattoos.
Okay, with the
No,
S.
tattoo.
Oh,
Tattoo.
oh,
Yeah,
see, that's why I
had to
asked.
check. Even I don't know.
All right, we are live. I
I'd
shall.
rather it just be sour fangs and no tattoo, but gotta do what you gotta do.
Nah. Somebody has
Marketing.
that already?
No, I have a private account with just that, but it just makes more sense because then people see that you're a tattoo artist when they see your name around Instagram. So it's just part of
Mm,
the marketing part of things. So
gotcha. All right, so I have that link. I sent you the link on Instagram
got it, got it.
DM. Boom. Let's take the picture.
Let's find a photo to put on there. I just take a photo of you guys. Haha. The blurriest photo ever.
Beautiful.
I'm so curious about what your name's going to change to because I was always wondering about when you were going to get that changed.
Is we're just changing it to
Oh, I just saw it.
oh, it went through?
Yeah, that's way better. I love that.
Nice. And we're gonna have that until we get
Thank you.
just anime tattoos. We're breaking down the guy. We've been talking to him for like a long time, for a year.
Yeah, I
We'll get it.
remember.
We'll get
I
it.
remember talking to you about it.
One day he will crack. But he's had it for over 10 years, and he
Oh,
has it on Xbox. He has it on PlayStation. He has it on Twitter. He has it on Instagram. He has it on Facebook.
ah.
He has it on everything.
So it's going to be like a huge deal where he's trying to sell it to you, or he just refuses to sell it to you.
He refuses to sell it, but I will follow up with him until ever. So I don't care.
I mean, clearly you're running a business in comparison, so like he's got to fold eventually.
Right. But I'm not gonna pressure him into doing anything crazy. I
No,
like
of
this
course.
name though.
Oh, that's why you could hear me because what's it called? I was connected to my Mac mic.
Instead of
Is it
Ah,
the
recording?
yeah.
yeah, we are.
Now it's perfect.
I can't switch the mics while
All
talking.
right, so I'll stop it.
Can you hear the fan though?
Wait,
I can't hear the fan.
I can't. I don't think I can.
Okay.
Like if I really concentrate, maybe there's a tiny hum, but no one's gonna give a shit. It's
hmm
fine.
hmm
Oh wait, can we swear? I swear
Yeah.
all the time. Okay.
Lock in.
All right, ready?
At 8, I posted it, so
Coolio. There you go. Enemy Tattoo Bros. I like that. I like that.
I think
See?
it's cool. It's a really good name. It's better than Heaven, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was. We were just looking for anything, whatever we could find. All right, I'm gonna do the intro. We jump into it, and it's not a corporate thing, so we have fun. And yes, you can curse because it gets bleeped out later. So we are good to go.
No worries, no worries.
All right, all right. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. And we are live. Welcome to the Anime Tattoo Podcast. This is your host Ramses Kennedy,
Isaac Augustin.
and today we have one of our favorite artists
hmm
out right now. Would you like to? She's humble, but would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure, yeah. My name's Shana. I have Sour Fangs Tattoo is my Instagram handle, and I focus mostly on doing bold black anime tattoos.
Fire. How
Yeah.
did you? And because we talked a little bit in the DMs because we're working on your spotlight video, but
hmm
pretty much nobody else knows. Like your story is crazy,
It's just
and
all over the place.
but that makes those make the best stories, right? Imagine a story where the hero is born and they have everything, and then they just beat the villain. Like
So
nobody
typical
wants
isekai.
that.
hmm I'm not watching her reincarnated as a vending machine. I want to see real
Oh
shit.
my God, that's such. I haven't seen it yet, but I remember seeing it. And I was like, I've got to watch this. It's ridiculous.
How would you summarize like your journey as an artist if in 2 sentences?
In 2 sentences,
2 sentences,
from start to finish.
start to finish,
Oh
and where
gosh.
and hopefully where it'll go to, just to make it
Oh,
a little
okay.
more difficult.
In 2 sentences, that's a lot of thinking to do. You caught me out there. I mean, a rough, slow start, but with determination and like just pure willpower. It took me from struggling every day to this general like calm of like knowing that this is what I do now. And it's still a struggle. It's always going to be ups and downs, but I definitely see it heading up, and I definitely want to follow that wave into the future. It's the weirdest summary you've ever had, but there you go.
No, it makes sense
No.
to me.
It's so much more detail. It's so hard to summarize.
And we're definitely gonna get into it. And if I recall correctly, you moved into a private studio rather recently. How's that whole transition been treating you?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, at first I felt like maybe it was a bit slow, but I think the industry itself right now, especially over here in Europe, is a little slow, and it's summer and it's summer holidays, so it's kind of expected. But I'm feeling pretty confident and pretty chill. Bookings are fine. It was just calm. It was like no more stress. Like renovating the studio took some time and it took some effort, but now that it's running, it's just easy. Just go to work. I do things as they should be. Things are in place. It's clean. It's tidy, and then I go home again. No stress.
Nice.
See, that's what we need. That's what we need.
Yeah,
Nah, for
don't like
real.
stress.
And we did get a question on our Instagram story, so I do want to ask it really quickly. And it comes from Stolen Macaroni, one of my favorite people. And it goes, and I quote, "Do you enjoy being a badass lady in the tattoo industry?" That's from Stolen
Gosh.
Macaroni.
I don't consider the gender, to be honest with you. I am just a tattoo artist that does this big thing. Yes, there are a lot of it's a big male dominated industry, but obviously there's more and more females coming into play. But it's not something I think about regularly. I enjoy what I do, yes, but I don't specifically enjoy the fact that I'm a female in the industry doing it. I don't like to put that pressure on myself because sexism and equality and all that is such a huge subject. Like, obviously we're all for equality, but it's not something I think about on a regular basis. I'm just happy, to be doing it.
Gotcha. And is it true that you are a big gamer?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yes.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I want to hear. What's your go-tos?
It's my Sneak Power Gamer Energy Drink. No, it's just
Yeah,
water.
how much of a gamer she is. Love it.
I mean, it's funny because obviously I used to game a lot on Nintendo consoles as a kid. And we never had any in the house. It was my nan that introduced me to them. My old grandma, she loved Legend of Zelda. Yeah, she used to bring her Nintendo 64 over, and then her GameCube. And then when I moved out, I would have bought the Wii and the Wii U and all that kind of stuff. But I never really got into PC gaming. I used to watch my brother and my dad play it a lot, because I didn't have a PC that could really run the games. It was always like hand me down. So it went from dad to brother to me. The PC was kind of old, couldn't run good games aside from, I don't know, probably Barbie dollhouse stuff. I have a fleeting memory of something like that. But it wasn't until I reconnected with an old friend of mine. Gosh, when was it? I must have been about maybe 10 years ago. And they suggested I play Portal. And I was like, okay, I've got a laptop. I'll get a Steam account. It is. It's such a great game. I loved it. I was the happiest I'd ever been playing games on my laptop. And it was literally the next year I bought all the components and built my first PC. And it's just continued from there. I've just always had a PC. I've taken it with me everywhere. I used to take my desk with me everywhere because I've moved a lot.
What?
Yeah, I loved my desk. I got attached to it.
Dedication.
Yeah.
You still have it?
Actually, no, I did eventually sell it on because we've built a double desk setup with me and my partner, so I don't need it anymore. So
Hey,
it did go a
now
long
you
way
gotta
though.
bring the double desk with you.
yeah, now you gotta
Oh,
get
No, I think we're planning on moving to standing desks, so we'll get two different ones, sadly, but
Gotcha.
better for the back.
So I didn't even hear any games.
Yeah, other than
Gosh.
Portal.
Go-tos.
I mean, when I first started, like when I first built the PC, I was mostly just grabbing some free to play stuff on Steam because you build your first PC, you've got no money left. And then again, that same friend was like, this thing called Overwatch is coming out. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, you guys know Overwatch is. And I grinded the shit out of Overwatch for years. Every fucking minute of my free time because I used to work seasonally. So I had 5 months of the year where I didn't have a job. So I was just morning, breakfast, game, dinner, bed. That was it. That's all I used to do. So,
Locked
What
in.
role did
Yeah.
you play?
my main was Junkrat.
Junkrat? Yo,
Yeah,
I love
was-
Junkrat.
People hate Junkrat because he's such a spammer.
Bro, but it's fun to troll.
No, I know, it was great. You just like stand in a corner and you're just shooting your grenades and like 10 people die. It's fantastic.
So
And then,
Junkrat was your main, or you played anybody else?
He was my main. I played Lucio in competitive because he was, the best filler, right? And then I stopped playing competitive after a while anyway. But I moved on to Roadhog because I loved pulling and hooking people in. It was so much
Roadhog is
fun.
my other. Roadhog was my main too. Roadhog with the hooks. I feel like I don't know if you played League, but he's like Thresh.
I know of League, but I don't really know the characters
But
very well.
he's like a League of Legends character. You just hook, and then who else would I play? I think I would play what's her name? What's the Invisible Girl? The one that Sombra.
Sombra. Yeah.
Sombra.
Loved Sombra.
Sombra.
I used to watch a streamer play Sombra. His name is Fitzy here. He's amazing at Sombra, and he still plays to this day as Sombra main. Absolutely, and like still playing every single day. That's what he does as his job. So, and we know Overwatch has kind of gone a little bit, but yeah, no, Roadhog was great. You hook people into the abyss, they disappear. It's fantastic.
One got them. It's done.
And then May was also very strong. She's changed a lot now, but in her
Yeah.
prime.
Did you play
In
Overwatch 2? Yeah, Overwatch 2.
I don't know. Overwatch got a bit toxic, and then it started dying as they announced Overwatch 2. So I didn't. I downloaded it last year just to give it a try, and it was it's actually way better and it's much more balanced than it was when I left. But I didn't have that. I'm already like just last year I was like in this focus of focusing on work and business and art and stuff. So I haven't been gaming that much this past year. So I didn't really connect with it, but yeah, it's still a good game. I still think if I had time, I would probably play it way more. But yeah. But you said, did you play it, Ramsey?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Get
I
out.
really-
Yeah.
I'm too old. I don't know. I
Too old?
Too old. Yeah, he's an unk.
Come on.
Oh, watch your mouth, Isaac. No, I played League of Legends for a long time, but I
Yeah.
don't really get to play games much anymore. But
No,
I still watch League of Legends religiously,
Yeah?
like the competitive. I love it.
League is all I hear about. League is just pure toxicity. Just-
See, that's why I don't
Yeah,
play.
ask,
That's why I
ask
watch.
Randy how many accounts he has banned on League of Legends.
Yo, chill. On live is crazy. On
Brilliant.
live is crazy. Oh my
You
god.
smurf. Absolutely. It's good.
My goodness. Oh my god.
What did you peak like in Overwatch? What was your rank?
When I was playing competitive with Lucio, I just was kind of mid-plat when I placed, and I just kind of stayed around there. But then I stopped playing competitive, but I always wanted to place. I always wanted like a little medal on my name. So I used to place in diamond, like mid to low diamond, but I never really grinded any further than that. So, and that was playing Junkrat and Roadhog.
So now
And
the
you?
question I want to go back to is, how did you start streaming?
I started streaming. Oh, no, that's a bit of a sad story, actually. So I was, it was during COVID, and it was, it was a time where everyone was just like on their own and lonely and sad. And I used to go to work, and it was a single job. It was just me and a truck. I used to work in a truck, and I didn't speak to anybody. My family live across the other side of the world in Australia, so we very rarely had time to hook up and talk. Because I bounced from country to country, didn't have many friends that I talked with, if ever. So I was very, very lonely, and I realized that I was not feeling in a good headspace. I was like, and I needed to get out of it. I was like, there's no way I'm going to let this become who I am and be sad all the time and hate everything. So I decided to start streaming, and Let's Playing, because I Let's Played first and moved on to streaming, and then it faded off. But I just wanted someone to talk to, even though I wasn't talking to anybody. So I started doing that every single day after work. That's all I did. Is like I'd have a quick meal and I would grind, and then I would play games and I'd edit and then I'd put it up. And I found some communities on Discord, and then I eventually stopped because obviously I started actually talking to real people, you know. So
So would you say like you found what you were looking for in like content and streaming, like in the Let's Plays?
yeah, I think so. Yeah, I was just looking for a connection, I think, at the time. And it was not like it's not that I find it hard to make friends. I don't. It's great. I just was not in a situation where I could make friends. You know, if you work 15 hours a day, you just want to go home, eat, sleep, and you're back to work the next day. You work 6 days a week, need a full day to recharge. There was just no space for me to do that. So it was tough. England's tough economy. But no, I definitely found I found my partner through doing that because I found them in the right Discord server because we were looking for games to play. Yeah.
That's wow.
So it goes on like the saddest story in the world all the way up to where I am today. Because if I hadn't been sad and found that Discord server through Let's Playing, I wouldn't be where I am. So
That's fire. That's
Were they
great.
a fan? Was like she was a fan?
no. It wasn't so much that. It was I was looking for people to play like Overwatch or Valorant or whatever with, and she was too. And we bumped into each other on a server, and it slowly developed into more than a friendship.
Wow.
Yeah, long distance for about 6 months. So
And it sounds like you both weren't even looking for anything like that. It was like I need a duo. I need a duo.
pretty much, yeah.
Duo to
Yeah.
lovers. That's fire.
It was good. That was good. We didn't even like get along that well when we first bumped into each other. Yeah. I won't go into the nitty-gritty like great details of it all, but like eventually I just messaged them and we hashed it out, and then we just became so in love.
Nice.
You know how it goes. You don't want the dirtiest.
And I'm curious, like, because I know a little bit about the story, but I know I'll get even more from it. But you were in a few different countries, like England, like was it Switzerland? No, wait,
Close.
flip. It's Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that. But then you traveled to like. I'm curious. Can you help me fill in the timeline of like original Sour Fangs? Because if I recall correctly, you tried to tattoo. You tried to start tattooing a few different times earlier, and now you're
Yeah.
here. So can you kind of fill in the timeline for me?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, obviously, a lot of this is not tattoo time. This is all like when I was younger. I left home when I was 17, so I left England, and I went to Malta because I have Maltese roots. I'm part Maltese. I have a citizenship,
Oh,
which I only got recently because I needed it because of Brexit. But anyway, that aside, I met a Swedish girl. We came into a relationship, moved to Sweden, and then from there, we kind of bounced around between Norway, Ireland, England, Sweden, like doing different jobs. And then I kind of stayed in Sweden for about 8 years. And it was that last 2 years in Sweden that I was like, I remembered like the depth of how much I wanted to tattoo. And it had disappeared from my mind from when I was a kid because it just didn't seem reachable. And it wasn't something I was encouraged to do. And it only a few years earlier I'd reconnected with drawing again because I used to do that all the time as a child, of course, you know, drawing Naruto and Sasuke. Like, it was great.
and is it true that you told your mom that, hey, one day I'm gonna be a tattoo artist when you were
Yeah,
relatively
yeah.
young?
When I am now, she told me when I was 11, I told her I wanted to be a tattoo artist, and I was like, I don't remember this, but she does. So that's pretty cool.
And then jumping into that, you kind of reconnect with drawing with like, hey, this is something that I wanted to do. Where did it all like come together?
Oh gosh, I think it was, you know, those 5 months of the year I just not doing anything, and I was just slowly Overwatch started to fade off, and I'm like, what do I do with myself? I'm kind of bored. And I set up a completely different YouTube channel for something else. So I won't go crazy into it, but that went really well. But it just wasn't wasn't hitting, and I really wanted to do something else. And I just reconnected with that thought of tattooing. You browse. I was on DeviantArt, then you move over to Instagram. You browse art. You start looking at more tattoos, and go, oh yeah, oh my god, yes. You know, like you feel it, and I'm like, I need to try it. So I did. You know, I tried it on myself, as we do. I did everything I could to be as, you know, professional at home, but you know, there's a lot of people that started at home, and it's questionable, but it's
You gotta do.
but no, it was the last year or two in Sweden where I was like, I really would like to do this, but I lived in the middle of absolutely nowhere, like almost past the Arctic Circle. Like there was like one tattoo studio in my town, which was full, and had been there for years, so that wasn't going to change. And then there was another tattoo studio about 3 hours drive away, and my partner's cousin knew the owner. And I was doing a couple of free tattoos at home, and he was like, oh, hey, come and work in my studio. So I did. I would drive down there 3 hours, stay in his back room of the studio overnight on a little camp bed, and I'd just do like 1 or 2 tattoos a week. And I'd stay over for a day or two every week. And that was about 3 months. So, and I probably only got about, I don't know, 10, 15 tattoos tried and tested. Not the most amazing tattoos in the world, let's be honest. And then because it was 3 months in, I broke up with my partner, who was Swedish. I didn't know what to do. I left the country. So tattooing got put on the back burner.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then it was like another, I don't know, 3-4 years later that I actually started again properly. So.
So did leaving Sweden like kind of put you off course in terms of the tattooing?
100%. I tried in England multiple times, 3 times in fact, in 3 different studios. The first one was just not the right place. It was a walk-in place. It was about business. It wasn't about the art, and it just didn't resonate with me. And then I met another person who I decided to move in with in a different town. Tried to start something there because there was a tattoo studio right outside where I was living, but it was a really sketchy place. Yeah, the owner was a bit creepy, to the point that every artist there left in one evening.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I tried to tattoo there a couple of times over the course of a couple of years, but it was financial stability that was the problem. You know, you need to pay rent, but you're not an established artist. You don't get enough money from that. Part-time is difficult when you haven't got much free time in the first place and a partner. So it was like very on and off, like 1 month here, like 1 week there. Like I just wasn't able to focus on it. And then there's one more place I tried, and I started to get my footing. It was like a couple months of actually like constantly going in every single weekend. So I was actually starting to feel like, oh, maybe this could be my chance. And then COVID happened.
Oh, what?
Yeah, everything closed down.
Is that when you started driving the truck?
And that's when I started driving the trucks because they needed truck drivers. And sadly, I had broken up with my partner just as COVID happened. So there was nowhere to move. So we had to live together. And I didn't want to be at home for like the whole year with my ex. So I got my truck license and headed out.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not like the tattoo studios, they came back a couple months later, they were allowed to tattoo again, but he had another tattoo studio in another town. He actually closed down the one that was in my town and moved back over there. So there wasn't a tattoo studio for me to go back to.
Oh, wow.
And I was earning so much money through trucking versus what I was earning in tattooing, which was such a big difference. It was a no-brainer for me at the time to stay in the truck industry. So I didn't even attempt going back to tattooing in England. I knew I didn't want to be in England. I needed to leave. But then because COVID was there, I couldn't. So I felt really stuck. And I was like, I got to get out of this country. I really don't like England.
Oh, my God. And then, so after that, or kind of during that time period, that's where the Let's Play and the finding community comes in?
Exactly, yeah. Eventually, my ex moved out. And then I was completely alone for a solid year or two. So it was, thinking about it, I think I was in England for like maybe 5 years in total. Maybe, I think it was about 4 or 5 years in total. God, I did not plan that. I popped back to England because I was like, where do I go from Sweden? I'll figure it out. I'll go move in with my brother for a couple of months.
Mhm.
And then he went to Australia. And I was like, what do I do now?
Oh.
And then I got stuck.
So you're in England, right? You find community and you find your eventual partner, and now
Mm.
you're in the Netherlands. So can you help piece the
Piece that
puzzle?
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like trucking, no tattooing, sad COVID times. I connected with my partner through Discord, and we decided that it would be best if I could move here, because obviously I'm never going to ask someone to move to England. I didn't even want to be there myself. And it was very difficult because Brexit also happened the next year, which prevented me from being European, which means I couldn't leave the country to work for more than 90 days. Like
For
any
the-
other standard continent, right? When it comes to Europe and going anywhere. So
For the stupid Americans like me, can you explain Brexit, please?
I mean, I'm not gonna pretend to be super like educated on the subject. All I know for the main part is that you've got the entirety of Europe. England was part of that, and now it's not.
Oh,
So it's now
not?
like it's not part of Europe anymore. So anybody that had a British passport only was now not European. So they treat the British through a different line in the airport. Like there's a lot of like import and duty tax that there wasn't before between England and Europe. And it also meant that I couldn't just go to Europe and work like I would before and be part of the continent. It was, I had lots of restrictions. Like if you go to Australia, if I was to go to America, I would need a visa, I'd need a permit, and if I didn't, then I could only be there for a certain amount of days, and I couldn't work, and it was the same situation, or very similar, which was a shame
And
because I
like
was so
that-
used to doing that my whole
this
life.
is still a thing? Like,
It's still there, yeah. We're not part of. I say we. England is not part of Europe anymore. I think there's a lot of regret from the citizens that voted for it, but it's too late. So.
wow. Was there like a specific thing? Not to get political. I'm just
No,
this
no,
is just
no.
my ignorance. Like, was there something promised in the deal that was like, oh yeah, like we want to do that made
Oh, we'll get this.
I generally I can't say I know much about it because the whole voting thing happened when I wasn't there. It came into play when I was there. I wasn't able to vote at the time, but I think there was a lot of ignorance, not a lot of information shared, not a lot of research done, and a lot, I believe, and don't quote me on this, but a lot of the older generation were the ones to say, yes, we don't want to be part of Europe anymore because of like shipping and food deals and all that kind of stuff. They thought it would be better for whatever reason. And I'm sure a lot of the youth also thought that as well, but I think it was almost a 50-50 split. And it just favored in the side of leaving Europe.
So when, and again, this is my ignorance showing. When I hear the economy in England being tough, and the UK is England, right?
Yeah,
okay.
the UK is like the full thing is England is in the UK.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So like UK artists, they say the economy is really tough. It's really shit. Is it? Do you think? And please correct me if I'm wrong. Is it these additional like new tariffs and stuff that makes everything so much more expensive that leak into like tattoos or I don't need a tattoo. It's something I like. It's something nice, but because everything is so drastically more expensive, now it really adversely affects the economy, especially like the tattoo industry.
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure. I think it's going to affect every industry. I don't think Brexit itself is causing such a big lull in the tattoo industry. Tattoo industry is having a lull everywhere. But obviously it would have affected England for sure. But Brexit did cause a lot of increase in prices for people over there. And the general England economy that I'm referring to as to why I don't like England is more of the like life to work ratio. I feel like you are expected to work so much more and have such a little life. And now also you have all the increased prices, which making it even harder for people. So it really was not the way of life I was used to because of working in Sweden and Norway, where they have such a great government and system over there. It just was like taking a big jump down the ladder when I moved to England. So
and can you talk to me about how you were able to get out of England, because now you're in the Netherlands, right?
Yeah, so that was my partner. So my partner sponsored me.
What does that look like? just again my ignorance.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, we went a very specific path where it was like a sponsorship of saying, this is my partner, and if they cannot afford their own living requirements, I will cover it. And that is the contract that we'd technically signed. And we proved that we were a partner by showing all the plane tickets that we had to visit each other, all the photos we had together, WhatsApp conversations that we had to share with the bloody government.
Oh, really?
Just to prove that we were a
Wow.
couple.
We have to see the Xbox Live chats.
Yo.
No. No, but
No, the Discord logs. No.
no, genuinely. We sent over everything we thought they could help because we didn't have that much proof of us being together because I'm not big for taking photos of myself. So we didn't have a lot of that. But the plane tickets, I think, helped because we visit each other every like 2 weeks. Yeah. And and we put, it cost money as well doing all this, like, and we didn't care. We were like, but this has to happen. And we were stoked. It took maybe 5 or 6 months for it all to go through. And then I moved here. And when I moved here, it was just after Christmas, a couple of months after Christmas, and she surprised me with my favorite tattoo machine and power supply that I had previously had, but I had to sell because I needed the money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which machine and power supply?
At the time, it was a Critical Atom 2, which was a power supply, and the machine was a FK Iron Spectra Zion. But it was a very, very fancy version of it. It was like a limited edition called Stealth Tiger, and it looks really pretty. And I'm going to frame it and put it on the wall because I love it.
Wow. Oh, you still have it?
Yeah, I love it. It's so pretty. And I could never, she got it for me as well. Like, it was like the start of my career. It was like, I couldn't use it for, like, it was another half year before I could even use it because I needed permits for working. And that took a while to come through. So.
What did it mean for you, like, to have somebody in your corner like that? Like, I believe in you. Like, you really have a chance at making it big with this. I want to back you with my love, support, but also, like, my resources, too. Like, what does that mean to you?
It's really hard to describe because it's just, like, so heartwarming. And at the same time, like, it gave myself a lot of self-doubt. I'm very self-critical, especially when it comes to my artwork and my tattoos and my ability to do things, even though I know I'm doing everything I can. But she was the first person to really give me that support because I was always the one supporting others. And it felt really alien, but at the same time, really comforting and like a safety net. And sorry about the ambulance. I'm just forever grateful, and if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I am today. I can guarantee you that. And not going to get choked up or anything, but no, I'm extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. She was the enabler of my career, and I will always remember that.
Does she have tattoos?
She has a couple, nothing crazy.
Have you tattooed her?
Yeah, 3 times.
Ooh.
Yeah, the first one was my first tattoo that I'd ever done after 3 years of not tattooing, as proof to a studio here that I could tattoo.
Wow.
That I never actually tattooed in because they were a horrible studio. But
was it like a thing like, oh, bring somebody, you do the work, and we'll gotcha?
Yeah. But it wasn't a very nice studio in the end, and it didn't even return their response because I don't know, it just was weird. Didn't get the right vibe, you know.
So like,
yeah.
when did all the stars align to like really starting like launching like anime tattoos, like for you?
Anime tattoos came about a year ago. Although, to be fair, when I first started in a studio, because I had to do another tattoo in a different studio to again prove that I could tattoo, the studio that I wanted to work in. The first tattoo I did was Naruto, and I believe it's at the bottom of my Instagram page. It's like the first one you see, because for me, it's like the first official studio tattoo that I've ever done. I mean, to be fair, I'd worked in some other studios in England, but again, they weren't like, this is all I'm doing. I'm only tattooing. I didn't have any other job. And I wasn't happy with it. Obviously, it was the first tattoo I'd done. It looked like an apprentice tattoo. It was very shaky. It wasn't very, smooth. And it was on a friend who I had met on the same server as my partner, who also happened to live here.
What kind of server is it? I need to get in this server. Yeah,
I'm
what is going on? Like, what?
It's a Sapphic server, so I wouldn't be able to invite you.
Wait, what's this? Wait, say it again.
Sapphic,
What's that?
females who like females.
Oh, got it.
So sorry, but no entry permitted. I'm not even part of that server anymore. Some people got toxic and I left.
Ooh. Hey, you got what you needed out of it.
Yeah,
I did. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta leave when you've got what you've got, you know.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so I did the Naruto tattoo. They were super stoked with it. I was really like disappointed, but like also happy to have started. Like I look back at it now and I'm like, wow, I've come so far. This is amazing. But at the time, I remember being like, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. So I started focusing on the things I was doing previously, which is sketchy stuff and watercolor and just what I thought would work. And then I started a bolder style about a year and a half ago, and took off. And it was when it started to actually like roll, and I had a lot more experience under my belt, and I was like, I feel like this could work for anime now. And I tried it, and I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. This is it. Like I could just tell this is what I need to do. Even though the majority of my client base weren't anime people.
How were you able to, I'm not going to say sweet talk, but kind of gently nudge your clientele like, hey, I know I'm doing this and, you know, this is what I have, but I really think this will work if you're down. Like, what did that conversation, what did that kind of process look like for you?
I think what I did first is like, I knew I wanted to do big anime pieces, like, you know, full calves, full forearms, like not just the little pieces. I had drawn some Flash or like some Pokemon or whatever, and I'd sold maybe one or two, and that was cool. So I had a little bit of anime under my belt, and I decided if I wanted to do big pieces, I needed to do a big piece. So I offered a day session for a big piece, and one of my clients was like super down, and like I didn't sweet talk or anything. It wasn't anime. It was a Wendigo, and I will be forever grateful to that person for giving me the opportunity to do such a large piece on them.
Because now you have it in your portfolio to show the next client and kind of.
Yes, exactly. And then I drew some big anime Flash, and it took like a month to sell one. And I put it on discount, of course, because you got to do what you got to do. Yeah. And some guy, he lived ages away, and he was like, I really want this tattoo. Can I come in and get it tomorrow? And I was like, yeah, I sure. And I obviously wasn't prepared, and I didn't have everything I needed, but I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do this. It's going to be great. And it turned out really good. He had some other tattoos at the bottom of that one, so it wasn't like a full piece, and it was a little bit frustrating to have to like work around other tattoos, which just enforced the fact that I knew I wanted to do, you know, big pieces. And it went really well. And from that single one, it just slowly picked up speed. And the more Flash I drew for people who can take the Flash and go, look at my work and see, oh, you're capable of this. Yeah. I can trust you to do this. And obviously, the more you have in your portfolio, the more it rolls. So there was no sweet talking.
Just skill. Shoot. And I'm curious about your relationship with anime, right? We talked a little bit about the tattooing and you getting into it. Can you tell me a little bit about your relationship with anime as a genre in general?
It's funny because I don't consider myself like a heavy anime nerd. Like, it's not like something I have been connected to my whole life and have needed to watch and like followed series and stuff like that. I like horror and like survival stuff. So obviously when I was younger, Death Note and Tokyo Ghoul were the first darker animes that I'd watched. But when I was super young, obviously Pokemon and Naruto were like, I watched them online. I didn't watch them on the TV. When I was in school, and it was that same friend who encouraged me to watch Portal that got me into anime.
Boruto?
Yeah.
I need to hear your thoughts.
No, important.
Yeah.
I said Portal. She said Portal.
Never watched it.
Portal?
Portal.
Portal?
The game.
Oh,
yeah. No, not Boruto. No.
Boruto. I was like, oh no.
You got some great people surrounding you. You know, Shanna. You got your partner. You got, you know, with the first Portal and then anime. Like, yo, you got some people in your corner for real.
Yeah, two very strong people that I will always have connections with in my life for sure. And since I've started doing the anime and tattooing stuff, I've made a couple of more connections with people, and even you guys, like it's just something that I'd never considered doing, but now here we are on a podcast. So yeah, no, anime itself, I watched some as a kid, and then it kind of died off, same as gaming. And then again, browsing, and you see more and more things. You go, oh yeah, I liked watching this. I'm going to rewatch this. And as you watch one thing, you kind of move on to another. You get connections in the industry, and you see someone else doing something with something else, and then you like. And obviously, as a horror fan, I mostly just watch horror animes, and like Parasite and Maruka-chan and stuff kind of like came into play, and I really like the gory, bloody stuff, which is super cool. And
Claymore.
Sorry.
Claymore. Have you heard of Claymore?
Claymore sounds familiar.
No Claymore? Oh my
Yo,
God.
you got
Please
to
watch
explain it right because I haven't watched it.
Please.
There's
You
going to be a
haven't
lot of
watched it?
animes
First of
I
all-
haven't seen.
First of all, Isaac, you're going to jail, and
What?
I don't know what this guy's doing. Hey, Riley said, "Hey, my favorite tattoo artist. One day I'm gonna get an anime tattoo by you."
Hey,
Riley,
Riley, I
love you.
recognize that name. Yes. Hello. Thank you very much.
Please tag us in it because I know it's gonna be absolutely fire. And I know you're gonna absolutely love it. So
One
please
day.
tag us.
One day for sure.
Heck yeah. But Claymore is a dark and gory anime that has a great storyline, like the TLDR without spoiling it. Essentially, it's a world where there are monsters and they look just like humans, and then they turn into monsters and they take out towns and people, and the
Okay.
only people who can fight them are females or women who have like a part of the monster inside of them, but it's like a
Okay.
constant battle. They like activate the monster power, but it's always like a balance of like, okay, this enemy is extremely strong, but if I tap into the monster's power too much, there's a point where I cannot turn back into
Yeah.
human.
Mm.
So it's
Tipping
always,
point.
yeah, you're always balancing that line where the characters and the main character,
Mhm.
she's not naturally super strong, but she can tap into that power, and then it becomes a thing where like you're always constantly battling, and then you go over it, and can you pull yourself back to humanity or not? And the
Okay.
show goes through what happens when you can pull back humanity, and when you can't. And then
Okay, that's
something
good.
happens, like there's situations where what happens if one of your strongest fighters turns into an enemy because they couldn't keep it together, and
Oh
now
yeah.
we-
Chaos ensues.
exactly. So I would highly recommend Claymore to you if you have the time. I know you're like
Yeah,
super busy, but
yeah.
it just based on the anime that you said you enjoyed, I
Mhm.
think you would definitely really like Claymore. And
Okay,
it's not a
yeah.
super duper long watch either. It might be like
Also-
30,
Also,
40.
Hellsing Ultimate if you haven't
episodes.
watched it.
Oh my goodness, Hellsing.
Hellsing.
Helsing. Oh, Helsing is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
W.
Hellsing Ultimate.
Is there anything that you haven't gotten to tattoo as of yet that you're like, oh my gosh, somebody, please, for the love of Jesus, book me for this?
Oof. I feel like I haven't repeated a character yet, so like it keeps changing. A character that I'd really love to tattoo. I mean, I'd love to do a large Naruto, right? One of my OG favorite characters.
What form? Are you talking young Naruto, teenage Naruto, like Baryon mode, like Boruto Naruto? What are we
I think like Sage mode, like kind of in the middle there, like just when he still had like the scroll on his back before he got the fiery like form,
Baryon,
just
yeah.
before that. Yeah. I'm not familiar with the names of the modes, but yeah.
Mhm.
But like, I've done a couple of small Narutos, obviously. So I'm trying to think of a character that I haven't tattooed yet. Gosh, because I don't have that many favorite characters. I'm very focused on my favorite, and I've tattooed those a couple of times. Oh, I lied. I literally just said I've never repeated a character, and I just said like I repeated those like multiple times.
Don't worry. I didn't even hear anything.
Yeah,
Have I tattooed Sasuke?
I don't remember
I feel like I haven't.
one. Yeah, I don't remember one on your feed. You might have a
No.
lot in the vault that you haven't posted yet, but I don't recall seeing one on your feed. I always think of that. I always think like when I think of your work, I always think of the Itadori, and I always think of that Sukuna. Those were like
Yeah.
two absolute standout pieces that I'm like.
Yeah.
When I think Sour Fang, I'm like, yeah, that
Yeah.
super like bold line work, super fire. I think it's called stippling, like just that nice smooth gradient. Like if
There's lots of
somebody
names for
asked me,
it.
like, why do you what's your favorite about this art? To be like, just look at this. This is like the embodiment of like what I think aesthetically, and this is my unartistic eyes enjoys like that bold, that gradient, that coolness. Like
So you have unartistic eyes. You clearly enjoy tattoos. You must have some creativity to you. You
I
have
don't.
you have preferences for sure.
I don't. I have preferences, yes. But to say that I have artistic eyes would be disrespectful to anybody who actually has artistic
all
eyes. I know where my strengths lies, and it is not in anything creative. I'm more so.
Okay.
I am more of a copywriter than anything. Like
I can
we
draw
have a
a
designer. Oh yeah, that part.
Yeah.
Stick figure. I'm your guy. I am your guy.
A strong stick figure. All right, but your words, not mine. You unartistic eyes. I'm gonna disagree. I'm sure you've got something. You get a glimmer in there for sure. When you know what you like. Yeah, a lot of people have no idea what they want. They have no idea what the style is that they're getting or the quality. They just get it done, and it's when they finally learn and they get a bit of that glimmer, and they're like, ah, shit. But
we have another question coming through the chat. Is there any anime character you dislike so much that you wouldn't want to make a tattoo of them?
oh god, that I dislike. You know what's funny is the first character that I dislike that comes to mind isn't even an anime character. It's the Baron from Resident Evil Village.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why it's the first character that came to mind, but anime character that I don't like. I think I want to say Orochimaru, but he's kind of got a cool design.
He does. It's like, I hate you, but dang, you're kind of cool and GL.
I don't hate any characters. I mean, maybe like the fan service characters that are just like boobs and bouncy and that's it, you know, like some people love that, but just a bit much for me. I don't really hate any characters. I don't think.
How about
I think Jinwoo I would like to tattoo. When you ask me that question, I never give you an answer, but Jinwoo,
Oh, Sunjin Woo?
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Ooh, you haven't done a Sunjin Woo yet?
I think it's coming though. I think it's coming.
Oh, hey, if you're watching this, lock in.
Sunjin Woo.
Please lock in, for the love of Jesus.
I'm either doing the main character or I'm doing the big statue face on the side of his
one that's
thigh.
like, ooh, God.
I'm not sure yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, God.
Oh my goodness. Have you read Solo Leveling?
I have been gifted the manga, but I haven't actually really read any manga, to be honest with you, because I don't prioritize it. I want to say I don't have time, but I realize I do have time. I just don't prioritize manga. So I find it hard to sit down and just do one thing. Probably like a neurodivergent thing, but I like to just be able to do two things at once, like, and be as productive as I can. So when I'm drawing, I'm always watching gameplays or listening to a podcast or an audiobook or something. So
Double productivity.
yeah, just constantly
Yeah,
going.
you gotta sit down. Yeah, sit down.
Do you have anything?
Even
that
when
you're
I'm tattooing.
excited- do you have anything that you're excited for coming up, or like that you see, like, okay, I have this in the works, like I'm really excited to, I don't know, maybe, fill out your space more, or conventions, or connections.
I mean, conventions, yes. I would absolutely love to go to Anime Inc. in October.
Please,
That would be
please,
amazing.
please.
I've applied. I haven't got a response yet, but a colleague.
Is it for
I
a
say a
booth?
colleague. Yes.
So wait, so hypothetically, if somebody was able to like slip in and like get you the booth, like hypothetically, would you be there?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. My partner's even
Hypothetically, I
wanting to
might
come
have a
with me.
text message to send. After
Okay, good to hear. I wonder who it's going.
this.
No, I did apply, but I had there's another guy who's in the south of the Netherlands who is also an anime tattoo artist. His name is Nick Limps. Amazing work, super cool. And I saw that he'd gotten a notification to say he was going, and I was like, huh. Okay, I guess I haven't had a response. Maybe I applied too late, which is completely possible. I'm not really on top of these things, so I have sent them a message. I was just hoping to get a reply at some point, but it's only a couple of hours ago. So. But yeah, I'd love to go. I
Hypothetically,
mean,
I'm gonna see what can be done. Not off the record, hypothetically, of course. Though I don't have that much power, but
No, well,
we are very excited for Anime Inc.
Yes.
We
yeah, I
are.
saw you guys are doing a collaboration, right?
Yeah, we're partnering with Anime Inc.
Mhm.
So like
Crazy.
DK, are you familiar with DK?
Sounds familiar.
DK
Yes.
the artist. He does the
You've
DK
mentioned him a
Gray
couple of
sometime.
times, I think.
He does like the gray opaques.
Yes.
or
Okay, I know who
Mario.
you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he had a really good idea, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about this as well. So we're doing some stuff for the prize pool, and like the nature of our business is digital, so articles, stuff like that, front page stuff. But we were also playing with the idea of like really cool awards for the artists, right? And through a really good conversation with DK,
Mhm.
we really thought, like, he helped me really think about it. Like, okay, who really makes the show, right? It's Anime Inc., but without clients and anime fans filling, the room with energy,
Mhm.
it really it's easy to fall flat, right? So
For sure.
instead
Yeah.
of 4 amazing prizes for the artists, we are trying to get 50 smaller but still amazing prizes just for like mini games, fan interaction, crowd work, just having a lot of fun.
50.
50, yeah.
Wow,
We're
okay.
gonna be eating ice soup for a while, but it's all worth it. So it's 100% worth it.
Just beans and noodles.
But I'm curious, because I want to do something really, really cool for the artists, right? But at the same time, I'm like, or here's gonna be my question. He, very big impact. Which one would you choose? Very big impact for a select few, or more smaller impact for more people? This is just me to you. This is not even for the podcast. I still love y'all.
No,
Everybody watching right now.
you want my opinion?
Yeah, please.
Because Anime Icon themselves have prizes for like the top winners. Is it like top 3 or something? Top 5?
It's usually like the best of show and best of day.
Okay, of course, yeah. And then they do that each day, and then it's best overall at the end of the year. I've never been to a convention, so I've got a lot of
Oh my
ignorance here when it
goodness!
comes to. No, never been to one, never attended one. So Anime Icon is going to be the first, so it's a big step. Whether it's this year or next year. But for what you're saying, I think because there's a lot of artists, and there's even more now than ever. And I feel like a lot of them probably would need, or it would be really, really helpful for them to have that boost of confidence that they got into that pool of winners, So a larger pool would be great for the community, like of tattoo artists and also their clients, because I think it goes along with the clients as well. When your artist wins something, it's like the client's like, fuck yeah, like, of course they got a sick tattoo. So yeah, I think a larger pool would be great for sure. Because I think the impact of a smaller pool for a select few is not going to be as big as the impact for a big group of people. But I mean, again, a little bit of ignorance when it comes to conventions. I don't know how easy it would be to pull that off. So
I think this thing specifically, it really came down to like just what we decided to do. The reason that we couldn't do a lot of like the really big thing is because we were thinking like really custom niche. Like it's pretty expensive. Like we were gonna spend a couple thousand and like come out with 4 versus doing the other thing. What you know what? Our show isn't super famous yet, so I'm gonna just say it. So there's this
Okay.
artist. Shout out Anna Tattoos. She pointed us in this gentleman's direction, but he's out in New Zealand. He makes custom skateboards, absolutely insane graphics. He was an anime
Is it
tattoo artist for 10
Mr.
years.
Anderson?
I don't think so. I think his name is Jesse. Wait,
Okay.
Jesse. Let me see. Jesse.
I'm curious now
It's
because
Jesse Mosen.
Yeah.
Limit Break Customs.
I'm gonna have to look.
But he was an anime tattoo artist for over 10 years, and he decided to go into this direction. And he has these like it's actually insane.
The
Like
Goblin Slayer. Oh my.
yeah, he made this
Yeah.
Goblin Slayer skateboard that move like he bolted stuff on and it moves and like it
Oh,
like
that's sick.
it's crazy. But it's like $900 for one.
Yeah, yeah, no, they are. The actual like originals are even more expensive, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because you can get
So-
the prints of these as well.
Exactly. And like he has pre-printed designs and those are not $900. So we can get a lot of those instead of like
Sick.
4, of the super crazy custom ones. And
Mhm.
God willing, he was saying like he's willing to make designs for Anime Inc. So like for Anime Inc.
Awesome.
It'll have stuff on it. And we can get like maybe 50 of those instead of 4 of the crazy ones.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty sick.
And it's
And
good that the
I have to say, skateboards are, even if you're not a skater, like I used to be, but like
no
I
way.
love
Jenna!
I told you I dabbled in loads of things like but yeah, no, skateboards and snowboard art on the wall looks fucking sick, man. I love
sent
it.
his Instagram to you in DM.
Oh,
I don't know if you're using
let
your
me
phone
see.
or
Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah.
but I'd love for you to take a peek because like his stuff is so
Crazy.
flipping cool.
Holy shit.
Like,
And the presentation as well, like that's
chef's
sick.
kiss. So we were talking about like a few designs specifically for Anime Inc. Like anime. I was like, full creative freedom. You're crazy. I'm not gonna tell you how to do your job. Like
Yeah.
I know it's gonna come out fire. So if the numbers make sense, let's do it. So he just waiting for a quote, and God willing, we'll come in with a good amount of boards. And I feel like this is something that DK helped me kind of reframe like a lot yesterday. We're like the platform that we're building, what we're doing, it's anime tattoos, and like the artists, you guys are amazing. But the biggest contribution that I can give to you is to kind of bring the community around us to display your work. So really, what are we doing to help build the community? And it's like, I definitely feel like I got my priorities mixed up. And this is just me like spitballing now, but I
Yeah, go
definitely
for it.
feel like I was definitely like focused like, okay, what do the artists want? What do the artists want? What do the artists want? But something that I thought about is like, if we create this for the artists, the anime fans don't follow. But if we create it for the anime fans, the artists will like want to be a part of it anyway.
Of course, yeah.
So, like, I don't know. I appreciate you, DK. All that to say, thank you, DK, because he definitely helped. Like, he shifted my paradigm around it. Like, literally how long was that conversation? Like,
It was like an hour.
yeah, an hour. Literally, whole paradigm shift. So
Impressive.
shout out DK. But I'd love to. One, you're gonna be at Anime Inc. Like, we're gonna make it happen.
I don't know, maybe.
I refuse to not let that happen. It's gonna be lit. We're gonna have a booth as well. Would love to have you in person on a podcast too, and
Yeah, sick.
wanna like mix it up. So like people who might not normally be able to meet and sit down and have a conversation. Like I think there's some beautiful stuff that'll come out of a conversation with like putting
Absolutely.
sitting you down with like just different artists like David E. or like if there's anybody that you specifically wanted to speak to or meet, maybe that's something that we can
There's
make happen.
so many artists that I admire that have been doing this for so many more years than I have. I feel like a little baby in the industry. I've only been doing anime for a year. I
But
feel like
you're so amazing, and it's not even
Whole lot,
glazing,
man.
like not even to glaze. And I think it's an artist thing. A lot of artists are humble, like I'm okay, I'm still getting there. But like if you take the step, if you even just yourself like take that step back, like this is what I was doing my first, like you said, the first Naruto to what you're putting out now. It's like holy smokes. And then remember, like, okay, you're 2 years in technically, like really giving it your all. You
Yeah,
have
two
an
and a
entire
half.
career still going, and
Oh yeah, got a long time
there's
ago.
no offense to the art, like there's people who are like, yeah, 15 years, 15 years in, award winning, and you look at it and it looks like I drew it. And if it looks like I drew it, I don't know what to tell you because I don't. I suck.
I have this conversation with people a lot because you get obviously a lot of clients bring this up as well. Especially when they ask me how long I've been tattooing and they're like, there's no way. And I'm like, yeah. And I think it's just down to priorities and preference and everyone's perception of art. Like one person may think that they're like, this is the cream of the crop. And this other person could be like, that is like base. That's where you should start. You know, we all have such a different perception of art. And it's really hard not to judge each other for that. But as long as you're humble about it, and as long as they're happy doing what they love and they're not hurting anyone, like traumatizing skin and clients, I'll let them be happy. You know, let them do what they want to do. But but I know where you're coming from. I understand the concept there. Yeah, for sure. It's
kind of segueing a little bit to more Anime Inc. Are there any artists that you've been like that you would want to collab with?
collab with.
Yeah.
Whew. I mean, it's tough as well because like there's a lot of very similar styles out there to me. So I feel like the best way to do a collab is to have similar-ish styles. Not too close, not too far away, because then it doesn't really work so well. I don't know if you would have recently seen some of the colored work from, I believe it was Beerai, JP Trunwalker.
Oh my gosh,
and...
the legendary dogs.
Oh my God,
Man.
that works. The 3-stack on the thigh. That looks amazing. It's stunning. Like
And
I could
shout out the client, whoever was eating.
Oof.
Whoever was eating
Jesus.
that. I think it was a 16-hour session. Like,
Yeah, it must have just
absolutely
knocked him out with a frying pan halfway through. Just oof.
They brought him
Poor
to Genga
sod.
tattoo, the one where they do the anesthesia and just wake up with a full back.
Yep. No, but yeah, something like that. You see how their styles are. They're not the same, but they're along the same way. And there's plenty of artists out there like that, like Wade Whitman, Cody Ellis. You've got some people here in Portugal that have got a similar style that you could connect with. There's people in Brazil like that as well. There's so many artists out there that have got the black and gray, stipple, whip shading, however you want to call it, kind of bold effect. But we're all just that little bit different.
Yeah.
So I think it's nothing that I would have a preference on who I collabed with. I think I'd love to talk to these people about the art. And I think when you collab, I've never done a collab piece. I'm sure you must be talking and spitballing ideas and like bouncing off of one another about your techniques and your style. And that must be really cool. Like that would be such an awesome thing to do. But I think when it comes down to the actual collab, it would be more of the customer's choice than mine. If they wanted me to collab with someone because they liked their work and mine, then that's what's more important to me than, who I want to collab with. But I think that's also a really hard thing to like connect. So, but yeah, it'd have to be like a brainstorm of who I think would be best. So I couldn't give you an answer now, but.
And you mentioning like the different countries, how many talented artists there are. What about in the Netherlands? We have a question coming in from 23 Siths. I think that's how you pronounce it. Are there many tattoo artists in the Netherlands that specialize in anime tattoos? And how would you describe the tattoo industry over there?
I mean, haven't been here that long, obviously. I haven't been in the industry that long. And this is the only country I've been in the industry properly. So I can't really give you a huge insight as to the differences. Anime here is definitely not as strong as it is in the US. And the southern countries, I found that there's quite a lot of anime tattoo artists down in like Spain, for example.
Spain.
Spain.
Yeah. And then you've got different groups of artists that specialize in things in different countries. Like even out over in Seoul and Korea, you've got these are so many cute, adorable little kawaii kind of like tattoo artists. Like that's a big part of their industry. For us, I think here in the Netherlands, there's a lot of like dark animals, kind of like medieval Celtic kind of stuff going on, Nordic even. But there's such a variety. There's a lot of color artists. There's a lot of anime color artists here. I say a lot. I don't know if a lot is really the vibe, but the majority of anime artists here I see are color. And there are a few handful, but I don't think there's a lot of people that specialize in it. I mean, I've tattooed Sad Kaya recently, and we had a chit chat about it. He's got some amazing work. He has his very specific style. But he literally has a studio around the corner from mine. Super lovely guy, and I didn't even realize where his studio was when I set up mine. But I don't really know, like the big branch of the Netherlands. I don't really put out feelers. I just kind of focus on what I'm doing because I'm really trying to like knuckle down and grow. So
Do you see yourself kind of setting roots in the Netherlands for the long term? I know your partner's here and jobs and stuff. Do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself?
I don't know. It's a tough question because I'm very wanderlust. I don't really tend to stay in one place. But in order to build a clientele, you do need to do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've done that now. It's been a couple of years. I've got a fair, a good following. I'm now getting people coming into like my space and finding me from lots of other countries right now, which is fantastic because my partner is not Dutch. They're not from the Netherlands. So this isn't like a base that we have to stay in.
Oh wow, I did not know that. I was under the assumption that this was their home and like her home, and interesting. So is she there for work, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah. So it's not set in stone. It's up in the air really. Like we're focused on our businesses now and where we are, and we're going to keep a straight line.
So
but if
sour
something
thing in New York soon, maybe.
New
I
York?
don't know if the US is an option. It's kind of scary. The US thing.
No, I've
New
seen
York
the
is
news.
not a
I'm
lot.
sorry.
I don't want to go into the politics of it all, but the US sounds scary. Let's be honest.
I don't blame you at all. It's scary being here.
I fear for your life every day.
It's so funny because it's like joke, like half serious, like crap.
Yeah, it's so dangerous over here.
Help me.
Oh, shoot. Save us. Yeah, as we wind down, do you have anybody you would want to shout out that has been instrumental to your journey? I know your partner and your partner and your client who had that trust in you, like, and I think it was a Naruto piece if I recall correctly. Maybe an unsung hero of your story.
I think a lot of people don't know how instrumental one particular artist was in my journey. I got 2 tattoos from this person. I was in Norway at the time, and I was following them. I really liked their art, never met them. This was years ago, right? This is way before I even started tattooing. I'd always wanted to. It was in like the back of my head. And they had a cancellation, or they had a free space. They were guesting at a place in Norway. That's 6 hours drive from where I was the next day. And I was like, could you maybe design me this? And they were like, yes, come and get it. And I drove over like the glacier in the middle of winter to Norway, right? To, I think it was Stavanger or it was Bergen. I can't remember exactly which town it was. But they were so sweet and so lovely and encouraged me to start from home, because that was the thing I didn't want to do. I never wanted to be the person that started from home. And, I wanted to get an apprenticeship. That's what I was waiting for it and trying to find it. And I never started because of it.
The right way? Like, is that why?
The right way, right? And I was always scared of doing it from home. I didn't want to be the scratcher or that person. And they encouraged me to do that. And gave me a lot of information and tips and stuff. And now they're actually a good friend. I've guested at their studio that they opened a couple of years later in Lisbon in Portugal, which is actually where my partner is from, funnily enough. So we visit there quite often, and that I guessed there. And their Instagram handle is Taylor Cat Claw.
Taylor Cat Claw.
Completely different style, not specific anime. It did influence the beginning of my tattoo journey when I was doing sketchy watercolor, because their style is a bit more sketchy, geometric kind of watercolor. Beautiful, crisp, clean, vibrant, beautiful. And I have their art on me. Yes, yeah, they did that recently. It was very cool. Always super grateful to him for pushing me to take that step.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. A lot of people don't know that one, for sure. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Hey, shout out Taylor for real.
Yo,
Yeah,
fact.
for
He
sure.
really birthed
Yeah,
like
Taylor's sick.
like a future goat. That's so
Oh,
lit. Yo, Taylor, how
fact.
does that feel? Taylor, how does that feel?
They recently collabed with Jägermeister, actually, I believe. They got out like a Jägermeister bottle with their art on it. It's so cool. Like if you ever scroll down their page, have a look. It's so cool. I'm in love with their art. Every time I see it pop on my page, I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so clean and well done.
Yeah.
My partner got a tattoo from them as well when we were there guesting. They just tattooed her for free. They're like, yeah, no, that's fine. I'll do it. Don't worry. Don't pay me. I'm like, you're insane. Thank you so much. Like,
Wow.
super sweet. Like it's a small piece, sure, but like the fact that they have so much generosity and they're open to chit chat and there's no gatekeeping. God, I hate that in this industry. You know, and I have their art on my body now for, and it must be 8 to 10 years old, but it's still two of my favorite tattoos. You know, like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the page right now. He did like this one Mario. It was Mario Flowers. The color and the lines.
Pops.
Oh, I see it.
Stunning.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's not anime, but it's still such a motivation, you know? Like they're so quick, they're so clean, they're so vibrant and saturated. I love it. Beautiful work.
That's awesome.
And I can say that about so many artists. I rave about artists all the time. Like my clients are sitting in my chair and I'm like, you should go to this artist. They're amazing. You know, like, yeah, of course I want them to come back to me. And like 80% of my clients are returning customers. So that's fine. But I'm always like bigging up people that I think are especially underrated and deserve way more attention. I have an artist guesting me with me right now who is insane. They're from Estonia. They've tattooed me. I love their work. It's insane, but they're so underrated. They definitely deserve more recognition for sure.
What's their Instagram, if you don't mind me asking?
Zoo Immortal. So ZU_Immortal.
Immortal. Right. Zoo Immortal. All that dark.
And yeah, they don't post a lot. A lot of their new stuff is all in their stories. So that's, I think the newer stuff is even more astounding than the stuff that's on the page. So, and I'm seeing it in person as well. A lot of my clients come in with their work, and obviously I see them tattooing each day because they're here for 6 weeks in my studio. So it's
You got to indoctrinate them into anime.
Yeah, for real.
yeah. It's funny because they were tattooing in the studio I started at here in the Netherlands, and I started in that studio because I liked their work so much.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, I
And
think
then
that might. Wait, oh, wait a minute. Yo, you know. Okay, Shanna, you're not even gonna believe this. It's so funny. It's so funny. So one of the questions that we got earlier, I was like, Zoo Immortal asked, "Is there any anime character you dislike so much that you wouldn't want to tattoo them?"
Of course, it was her.
So she said, "Oh, stop it, you with the cute emoji and some hearts." That's cool.
Yeah, she knows I'm a big fan. She knows
so
I'm a big
cool.
fan.
That is so
Start anime.
but,
yeah,
yeah,
literally.
start anime.
if you like anime, you know.
Yeah, you do you, boo.
That part. That's epic.
But yeah.
Any last?
So yeah, like all these little things that kind of pushed me into the right path and what have you. But yeah, sorry, you're going to say one last thing?
No, just any last minute shout outs.
Shout outs. I mean, just in general, like not people that have like influenced me, but like in general.
Yep.
Like yeah, in general, I think there's another really underrated artist who is such clean lines, super fine detail, really soft, super sweet person. And his name is Tattoo Sam on Instagram. So tattoo TATU_Sam_. They did this one on me. Here.
Is that a dagger, a sword?
Yeah, it's like a little dagger with some broken chains. And this one is from Zoo.
Oh,
That's cool.
oh, I saw that on her Instagram.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah, so he's such a lovely guy, super fast, super clean lines, and I really want some more tattoos from him. But right now I'm focusing on some other things. But I'm definitely going to be going back. Amazing work.
How much does this like in the inner bicep hurt?
Well, I thought it was going to be really bad, so I haven't done it like for like years. Like this one's empty as well. But then I finally bit the bullet and did it, and I was like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Really?
But like you see, it's not super detailed. It does go like almost into my armpit. But you know, he's quick. Oh, it was like an hour and a half, maybe.
Oh,
Maybe 2
wow.
hours
Oh,
at most, I think. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. You know, you've got plenty of adrenaline for a couple of hours until it starts to drop off and you hate yourself for your choices, which you went through recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like,
You went to see Vaughn.
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was fun. And it's so Isaac, he's like, by the time we landed, he was like, "Yo, I'm about to get this. Nothing happened." Like right next to it, the wait, is it nothing
No,
happened?
it's
The-
not I'd win.
yeah, the Nide win from the Jujutsu Kaisen manga. We were
Yeah.
literally while we were there, we're like, "Yo, you're gonna have to take a while to forget how bad that hurt." And then we land back in New York like the next day. He's like, "No, I think I'm ready to go." I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Yo, what? Damn."
You forget real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
I think the worst part about getting a tattoo is realizing everywhere that you don't have a tattoo now that needs to look cool as well.
Yeah. It starts to be less about getting tattoos and more about fitting the gaps.
Mhm.
So,
Ooh.
but
A forever, never-ending quest. But we'll definitely see you at Anime Inc.
Mhm.
God
Okay.
willing, you know,
all right. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
we shall see. Yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, comment Sourfang, and I will send you a free animetattoos.com shirt. Yeah, shout out if you made it. This has been the Anime Tattoo Podcast. We love you. Peace. Thank you, Zumortal.